So I had to have Netflix, I had to have YouTube, and let me tell you that I worked hard because tonight they have an amazing event in a small venue called the Johan Cruyff Arena. Yeah, just that. Next year, I'll get there. But they have their YouTube festival, so of course they had so much going on, but I managed to grab someone from YouTube, and I was even happier that, sorry again for the Americans, but that it was someone managing the DACH region, so Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, because as you know, we're all about Europe here at Streaming Made Easy. So Andreas, come on up.
Thank you. Oh, wow, that is loud. So thank you, and very warm welcome to everybody. I heard I need to talk fast to get you closer to the drinks. I will do my very best. It's a pleasure to speak in front of such an esteemed group of broadcasters, distributors, producers, media companies from Europe, but beyond. I thought I would be the only one talking about YouTube, but listening to Webedia and listening to Channel 4 doesn't sound like that, actually, which is great. I can claim that I'm one of the few people who know Inox-Tac. It's a legend also internally. And I have to say, I very much like the setup here. It looks a little bit like a living room. We have big screens behind me. So that's kind of the modern version of YouTube, which I will talk you through today. So I will take you on the journey, which is how to get from likes to fan and how YouTube can boost your business, how you can connect deeper with your core audience, how you can make money, and how you can innovate on a platform at global scale. But before that, oh, that's me. I have to remind you that we are in YouTube's 20th anniversary year. The platform has been founded 20 years ago with a creative boost, namely a 19-second video taken in front of animals. Elephant in San Diego. Animals have played a crucial role at YouTube. I mean, we have been known for years as the platform for cats and dogs on skateboards. We still do have them. I very much like them, but the platform evolved quite a lot to now the home of some of the biggest creators on the planet, like Mr. Beast. There's the golden rule, no YouTube presentation without a video. I do my very best to roll it. I hope the technique works. Finger double click, right? Here we go.
Okay, so billions of people watch YouTube, which is kind of hard to wrap your head around, right? So instead, let's start with a simpler number. Like how about 1? Like this one diehard Billy fan.
I have goosebumps.
Or this one Mr. Beast fan.
I dreamed across America to deliver Mr. Beast a penny.
Or this Mad Chiefs fanatic. He's had a couple good years. People come here for all kinds of stuff like this. Whether they're trying to master some new move, some new look.
That is gorgeous.
Or how the heck to beat some crazy boss. Tell me what you love, and I'll tell you 1,000 creators just waiting to share it with you.
Thanks for watching.
This is what happens when you give everyone a voice.
I still remember the days when I would make videos and literally get 0 views.
Billions coming together around the things they care about.
Are you okay?
Going deep on the things they love.
Ball is not the problem with Steph Curry. Steph is most dangerous when he doesn't have the ball.
All in one place.
God, I love YouTube.
Love a bit of YouTube.
Because of the internet. If you're really talented, they will find you.
I'm basically Oprah.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You just won the US Open.
For so long, I've always wanted to be different. And now I realize I just need to be myself.
YouTube. There really is nothing like it.
Great. That is the trailer of the US version of the YouTube festival called Broadcast. I tried to get the version for the Dutch festival for tonight. They didn't give it to me, unfortunately. They say, no, you're not premiering the video, unfortunately. So YouTube has a long-standing mission, which is we give everyone a voice and show them the world. I think the mission exists 10 years, maybe 15 years. And I think it's true ever than before. It means we are a platform from everybody who has a story to tell, and our platform connects you and your stories to the world on a global scale. We added one point which is important, which is, and we reward them for that. If you see an ad on YouTube, you can surely assume that over 50% of the price the advertiser paid goes in the pockets of a creator. We paid in the last 3 years $70 billion to the creator ecosystem from YouTube. No other platform is doing that. And the fact that we started that revenue sharing program in 2007 is the basis of the creator economy, of the creator ecosystem, and the success of YouTube. The principle has always been we share success with our creators and with our partner. And that makes YouTube not only an opportunity to connect with an audience, but to drive true business on YouTube. YouTube started with that famous or infamous 19-second video in front of a zoo. It was a short-form video, but YouTube evolved into a multi-format, multi-device, and multi-revenue source platform. Think of formats, VOD, live, podcast, shorts, long-form video. Think of TV, mobile, desktop, consoles, and think of ads, but also think of subscription and direct-to-consumer revenues like shopping and fan funding. Multiple formats, what does that mean? We heard today that many of the creators, their platforms were specialized in certain formats. We know that, for example, Twitch is very good in live video. We know Instagram, we know TikTok is very good in short-form video. Massive opportunities, but they all come with complexity. Complexity means you every time need to understand the platform. And it's really hard to connect the success on one platform to the success to the other platform. So that's why we said, YouTube is not a short-form platform, not a long-form platform, not a live platform, but we are a platform for all formats that allows you to put the fan and the user in the center and to build true user journeys and connect those user journeys through different formats. With Shorts, for example, it's a feed-based product. You can raise the attention and the interest of certain consumers and then link them and lock them in more into your user journey through podcast, live, and what? We wanted to take out the complexity of multi-format across multiple platforms and add the fact that you connect all of these formats on one platform. Multi-device is also very important. Again, YouTube started as a desktop platform, so it was run on computers mainly, and then we moved over to mobile. Today it's an all-device platform, which again allows you to design your own user journeys on one platform, which means you can start with a short, making a promotion for a long-form series that then gets watched either on a tablet or on a living room device, a connected TV, or think of live, where you can also have a live press conference running on your mobile phone, but you can advertise the pay-per-view event, which you can then buy to watch on your television screen. That is quite unique. Talking about the big screen, I know many of you produce and distribute for the big screen. YouTube became, interestingly, in many markets, in the US is probably the most prominent example, the #1 consumed app on connected TVs. Frankly, it came a little bit as a surprise to us as well, because we always were thinking multiple platforms, so we never thought it got so big. YouTube is watched more on connected TVs in the US than Disney, Netflix, etc., etc. And that we don't have these stats for all the markets, but that is not only a US phenomenon. We are mostly #1 and #2 in these markets. The interesting piece here is that 50% of that TV watch time is coming from content longer than 20 minutes. So long-form content is driving living room consumption. And I deep dive on that a little bit later. Thinking of multiple revenue streams, which is also important if you want to make business, which I assume you all are. Advertising is clearly the bread and butter business of YouTube, where we share more than half of the revenues with our creators and with our partners. But doesn't stop like that. We have lots of users who don't like ads, completely get that. So we have YouTube Premium, who now has reached 125 million paying subscribers globally. And similar to ad revenues, we share these revenues with our creator community, which is also a quite attractive business. If you want to tap beyond ads into direct-to-consumer business, YouTube offers a multitude of opportunities. Channel memberships, users pay for a channel for your content behind a paywall. Primetime channel, it's a similar format. You can sell your products on YouTube via shopping. And also, if you want to work with brands directly, we heard a little bit later already today, sponsored content is also a nice revenue opportunity. Why multiple revenue streams? Most of you are interested in stable revenues and predictable revenues. That goes along with diversified revenues. And that's why we not only rely on ads when we talk about YouTube. That is basically the key principle for YouTube. YouTube is only successful when you are successful. What we bring to the table is a global platform, audience and scale, and new revenue streams. What you bring to the table, however, is premium content, on and off-screen talent, and innovation. Think of it like a marriage where every party is bringing what the other side is valuing most, hopefully, and no divorce inside. We developed a framework to help you understand YouTube and be successful on YouTube. We called it the Boost framework by occasion. It starts with how you basically put your brand in front of new eyeballs, how you unlock new revenue opportunities, how you can optimize your content using a lot of data on YouTube, how to manage copyright, and how to be innovative and transform content on YouTube. I will talk you through that briefly, but you only get the sketch of that. If you're interested in more, of course, we have lots of resources. We have a whole team taking care of that. Feel free to connect with us. Starting with brands, I would like to start with something we are really not good at. We are not good at picking content and producing content. We tried it. There was the times where we had YouTube originals. I liked it, but not everybody liked it in those days. So that is important. We are good in building a platform. We are good in technology. We do not pick content. We do not choose content. We give you an environment where you have full control. The environment are channels. And a channel is your property. You brand it, you own it, you decide what videos get uploaded, who views it, in which countries, if it's monetized, if it's not monetized, and you can take it down every time. You own the brand. That's very, very important, very different from what you know from traditional television. How to do it on YouTube? In that kind of complex multi-format world, think of it as a puzzle, basically, where you need to bring the pieces together to reach the consumer on every part of the journey. This is how House of Dragons did it. They make users aware of their content using shorts. It's a feed-based environment. Think of it like Instagram and TikTok, which is also a feed-based environment. Users become aware of that. Once users become aware of that, you can then transfer them and lock them more in by, for example, using community to post, which is a community platform on YouTube to kind of make them more aware of your content, make them more interested, and then kind of connect them deeper with your content and your brand via VOD, via podcasts, or even creating a collecting viewing experience with live. Think of it as a user journey, think of it as a puzzle. Success is, in that case, putting the pieces of the puzzle in that way together that you can reach your audience in every state of their lifetime and make a rewarding watching experience out of that. And the best brands do that, like House of Dragon. That is interesting. Here we go. That's probably better here. So the question is how to start on YouTube. You probably own all brands. If you're a broadcaster, you own a channel brand, you own program brands, etc. If you're a producer, you own program brands. How to start on YouTube? Again, you start in the channel environment. We have seen various strategies how to start on YouTube. If you hone it down to basic principles, we see 3 approaches. If you do have a network brand, like RTLS, like NPUs, like Channel 4 and TV4s, often we see network channels as brand. It allows you to put all your content under one brand. The brand is very well known, and to make a clear connection between the show and the umbrella brand. That's often how broadcasters start on YouTube, and these still one of the most successful channels on YouTube are brand and network channels. If you do have shows who cater a specific audience, who are really, really strong in their branding, you can launch your own brand channels. And many producers, distributors, but also broadcasters are doing that. I'm working in Germany. Of course, there's a ProSieben channel, but there's also a Voice of Germany channel because that audience is so strong. And you see these across the line. Even sometimes these kind of show channels are more successful than the network channel. In Germany, the Voice of Germany Kids just won a diamond play button for 10 million subscribers just in Germany. Quite impressive. If you think you don't have a network channel, don't have a show IP channel, but you want to build other containers, genre affinity channels are really good, like comedies, sitcoms, whatever, sports channels. They also work very well. 3 very good starting points to start your journey on YouTube. When you then think of formats, do not stick to the existing formats you have from TV. YouTube allows you quite a lot of freedom to create own versions or alternatives of format. We always say 1 hour of pre-produced content can result into 5 hours on content of YouTube just by kind of recombining that. Think of extended clips, bloopers behind the scene. Think of digital extensions like the RuPaul Drag Race. Think of compilations like we see often in kind of channels like The Voice. It's not only the show, but best of, worst of, fails, etc., etc. Think of episodes and season recaps. Think of full episodes, and think also of live streaming marathons, which became an own format on YouTube. So think way beyond what you know from kind of your classical media exploitation. If you look at the length of these shows, it's quite interesting. Often they are longer than 20 minutes. Again, many of these formats here specifically run well on CTV stations. We learned 50% of the content is longer than 20 minutes over there. We heard that from Greg before. Success on YouTube can also mean success on other platforms. You think of YouTube as a dual nature. YouTube is a great distribution platform, but YouTube is also a marketing platform for your own catch-up service or for your own properties. And we measure that quite a lot with MMM, so media mix modeling, for example, with RTV, Sky in France. Basically, what we found out is that a presence on YouTube for RTV contributed 12% of RTVE's platform views on their own service in Spain. Same experiment with Sky. YouTube contributed roughly 9% of subscriber growth in Italy in Q1 2024, and we got similar numbers for France Television. We heard that before. The interesting piece, if you can upload a piece of content in YouTube while it's sitting on your television or a catch-up service, and it works in both cases, and even the more watch time and views on YouTube, the better people consume your content, even if it's behind the paywall, because it is free marketing. It's a little bit schizophrenic to understand that, but the concept really works, and we proved it through MMM data. Let's talk a little bit about monetization. This is the classic equation for ads on YouTube. It's basically you make money by views, which then get sold through a fill rate at the CPM, and then we share revenues on YouTube. The standard model is that the Google sales team is selling the inventory, but if you're a large partner and you have a competent sales team, we also have models where the partner sales team is selling in a co-selling model with our sales team, which works out really, really well. You require quite a lot of expertise, but it's a really, really interesting business model on the ad side. If you want to drive revenues, focus on long-form content, because what we do not monetize are views. We monetize watch time, because watch time is equivalent to the number of ad breaks we can serve. And what specifically drives watch time is long-form content. Channel 4, we had them on stage. Sorry, I missed you. Here we go. Hopefully you can confirm that. Long-form content over-indexes both in views, but mainly on watch time and mainly on revenues. We have partners where long-form content just constitutes 20% of the uploads, but 60, 70 to 80% of the revenues. That is an opportunity. However, for the broadcasters of you, it might feel a little bit scary. We had a good quote of the Channel 4 MD who said, yeah, it might feel scary, but it's worth the risk, because there is no risk. Because again, content on YouTube is also promotion for your own catch-up service, and it makes additional audience, makes additional revenues. And we actually see quite interesting examples how distributors, platforms, and broadcasters do that, quite innovative ways. If you look, for example, at Paramount, what they did is after they released their first episode on their Paramount Plus service, they then a week later, windowing strategy, released it for free on YouTube. Why did they do it? Because they want to build a fan base on YouTube that then translate into more consumption on their own service. Or Disney, who ahead of the launch of the Endor next season, uploaded all episodes of the old season for free on YouTube. Same logic. Additional inventory, additional revenues, but also free marketing. and fan community building for their IP. Beyond that, I think I mentioned shopping, which is interesting if you have your own products to sell. Often creators are doing that. Think of Tottenham Hotspurs or whoever is based in the UK, the Sidemen. They sell a lot of their products on YouTube because there's their community, and we have tools and we have products which allow them to sell their content on YouTube. Currently, it works only for your own products. Soon we will launch also a product where you just can tag third-party products and then sell them in an affiliate model. Memberships is also an interesting, talking about direct-to-consumer revenues, an interesting way of making revenues on YouTube. It's not, I wouldn't start with that, but the idea behind membership is you have a channel. The channel is accessible usually for everybody, and everybody can watch your videos. You, however, can put some videos behind a paywall, so users need to pay for that. We saw interesting experiments in Ukraine by Starlight Media, who went all in with their top formats and put at the same time they launched these top formats, or even a little bit before on television, those formats behind the paywall on YouTube. So users paid for that. They promoted it, they promoted it through community posts, etc., etc. And then, week or 2 weeks later, they removed it from the paywall and put it in front of the paywall. And then they gathered advertising revenue. So what they built was their own windowing strategy on YouTube, which, again, is something you need to understand and learn, but it's an interesting approach, especially if you're interested in kind of these exploitation window schemes. Talking about data, YouTube probably, if you're on YouTube, gets you more data than any other platform, definitely more data than you ever get from any TV panel. What you learn from YouTube, if YouTube is everything about your video, who's watching it, where it's watched, when people tune in, when people tune out, how it's shared, what people like, what people don't like. If you like data, that is your gold mine. We know creators who even use AI tools to process that data to get recommendations for the next episodes, etc. This is really fantastic. And talking about security, which was the S in our boost narrative, in 2007, we launched a system called Content ID, which helps you to manage your IP on YouTube. It works like that. If you upload a video on YouTube, our system analyzes that video frame by frame and extracts the most important information out of that video, rows all that information into an ID file, and then we look at every video which is getting uploaded. Be mindful of these 500 hours per minute upload to YouTube and look at it frame by frame and looking for similarities, not exact similarities, but similarities. And as long as you identify a user uploaded your video with your content and the system identifies that, you become the owner of the video and can determine what happens with that. 99% of the takedowns on YouTube happen through Content ID. It's launched for video, we extended that to audio, we extended that to live. We are going to launch that in the AI age also for faces and for voices. To make sure that your face and your voice gets similarly protected. And that is what I like most, frankly, that I really like the way how our partners and our creators experiment on YouTube. We heard quite a lot about that kind of the traditional media world and the creator world are merging and bringing up really new and exciting formats. And there's always an invitation for you to start piloting as well. Formats like trailer reaction videos. I haven't heard that before. Or was that 100 trailer live stream? Is an interesting format which is working well, but you never see basically on traditional media. We heard quite a lot about watch-alongs. We've seen, for example, during the last World Cup in Brazil, the example of Casetival. It was a situation where FIFA only non-exclusively licensed their World Cup rights to Globo TV, and they co-licensed it to a creator called Casetival who broadcasted the World Cup in Brazil on YouTube with his own commentary in his own channel. With record-breaking concurrent view numbers. The only deal was he needed to put a link into the FIFA merchandise store, which broke down after that. So really, really great innovations. We also heard today about formats where creator shows, so shows created by creators like Inoxtag, then got moved into traditional media and exploitation schemes like cinema and TV. And we're seeing that more and more and more, that creators help media companies to exploit their archive and to exploit their recent shows. And in terms of kind of leveraging or even crossing borders with YouTube, multi-audio is a tool on YouTube which allows you to upload various audio tracks to one video. So if you're in the UK, you can upload the Spanish one, the German one, etc., etc. This is tremendously helpful because don't forget, YouTube is a global platform with more than 2 billion users. 40% of the total watch time comes from viewers choosing to use the dubbed language if multiple audio is available. YouTube is a massive export tool for your content. All right, that was a lot. How to get started. Our recommendation, create a home for you. If you haven't done that, create a home for your content. Basically, create a channel. Whatever model you pick, network channel, show channel, genre IP channel, just start. And then develop an audience, which means just upload content. Don't think too much about it. Upload content. It's important, however, to have a certain frequency and consistency. And then use our data tools, analyze it, learn, iterate, learn, iterate. Every creator did that. Every creator went down the journey. It takes time, frankly. On other platforms, you gather quicker views. You probably gather quicker likes, but what you gather on YouTube is a subscriber base which stays, a loyal fan base. It's equity you have on YouTube. We have channels where 50, 60, 70% of their views and watch time comes from subscribers of the channel. It's like a TV model, if you want. So, if you want to know more, go to youtube.com/creators, talk to me, talk to us. And now a huge thank you. And if there are any questions, feel free to ask them.
Thanks, Andreas. All right, go for it. Before he goes to the YouTube festival with the very fancy and famous people.
Whatever the Johan Cruyff Arena is, yeah.
Bring your questions. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Andreas. Nuria Núñez from Orange Group. I will miss your event on Saturday, unfortunately.
Oh.
But could you tell us something about what you will present on how YouTube is evolving to interact more with the devices at home, living room, YouTube living room?
Sorry, I didn't get that acoustically.
The question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you maybe anticipate something about what will be presented on Saturday during IBC about how YouTube living room is evolving in the...
Unfortunately
no?
not.
Nothing?
Even I don't know
Okay,
that.
but just then
I can tell you what is getting presented tonight in the Dutch festival. That one, which is basically the same story. It's about the relevance of YouTube in terms of cultural relevance, impact for advertisers, but very specifically how important YouTube became in the living room, what an opportunity it is for partners and advertisers.
Yeah, okay, so maybe just whatever you can do about the YouTube living room.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit under embargo.
Okay.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
For an existing brand, do you think there's ever a time when they're too late to start a YouTube channel?
No, they're never too late. You got a brand. You got a brand, which means you got an equity, you got an audience. It's never too late. Ronaldo, who is an existing brand, not too bad, started last year. And he gathered, I think, 19 million subscribers in one day. Well, he's a good brand, I have to say, yeah, and he knew how to do it. He got a little bit of coaching. It's never too late. It's, no, find your way, but it requires a little bit of thinking and strategy to get onto YouTube.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Wendy Bernfeld. Quick question: when you mentioned the converting pirate videos to monetization using your tracking, you mentioned in a sentence you're going to carry that over to AI. Do you mean attributing it to the producers,
yep,
not the underlying talent, or
No, the rights owner. So basically, the uploader using Content ID for us is the rights holder, and we are attributing then the ownership of that part of the video to you. And indeed, as you pointed out, you can then either block the video, you can keep it on YouTube, but you can keep it on YouTube and then monetize it, and then the revenues of those video goes into your portal. It is one of the main revenue streams of the music industry on YouTube. They like you syncing your video with whatever Madonna, as long as they see the revenues.
Teresa here. So I've never tried to upload a video on YouTube, so I literally have no idea how that goes. But so I assume everybody can upload whatever they want. Do you have any limit? So do you foresee any limit as to what the library of YouTube can contain at some point? Like, do you actually have to tell some users to delete? Do you delete? How does that work?
Well, the YouTube library, if I'm not completely wrong, contains 20 billion videos. And we have still enough shelf space. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Just start uploading. It's very easy. If you have never done that before, start with YouTube Shorts. Very easy. 60-second video, upload it. You will enjoy it.
Andreas, you're leading the DAR region. I was interested in what is specific to your region compared to others. And linked to that is a German content creator traveling a lot outside Germany.
So Germany has a very local ecosystem. We have also, I think somebody mentioned that, similar to France, over 1,000 creators who have more than 1 million subscribers. On the one hand, I think more than 50% of the content consumed in Germany is coming from local uploaders. So it's a very local service. On the other side, more than 50% of the watch and of the revenues of German creators come from outside, which is also quite interesting because YouTube is a very export-driven business. What is quite specific about Germany is, in terms of sales, Germany creates quite high CPMs. That means it's very attractive for creators to also exploit their content in Germany, and that is one of the reasons why that very local and self-sustained ecosystem driven by creators, but also by service companies, grew and existed and is still existing.
Back here. Oh, sorry. I apologize. You handed me the mic.
I'm already getting scared of the question now. Keep your sunglasses on.
Hi, great talk. I just wanted to ask you, do you feel like it's easier or harder to grow on YouTube nowadays? Because some people would say that the easy times are behind us because everyone says, oh, it's always easy to start early because the platform is not yet just as saturated. But I see YouTube giving a lot of incentives to creators nowadays. So I would like to know, do you feel like it was easier to grow 2-3 years ago, or the golden days of growing YouTube are still ahead of us?
I personally think it's easier. So what we measure is how much time it takes for a creator to get to a certain level of subscribers, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. And that time is not prolonging, but that time is shortening. Frankly, YouTube Shorts does its contribution here because it's a product which is very easy to handle, very easy to create. You don't have the kind of high bars you have for VOD created, and the feed mechanism propels the videos quite a lot. And the basic mechanism still exists, although there are many, many cooking channels. If you manage to create your own voice, your own IP, you reach your audience, you have the same chances to build a business on YouTube than everybody before.
Thank you.
Can I go now?
Now come Evan.
Great job. You may have covered this. I did come a little late because I was held up at customs for reasons I won't go into. Couple of questions. My podcast partner likes to critique YouTube as not, an hour of television is dollars, but an hour of YouTube is cents. And I think that that's a misperception. I believe that the CPMs, as more and more usage goes on to TV, I believe that the CPMs are rising and catching up to the rest of the connected television universe. Second part question, can you explain the partners program and how partners who are qualified can actually sell their own ads at their own prices? Because I don't think that most people understand that as well.
Fair point. So we actually do not look at CPMs, we look at CPH, which is basically revenues, or RPH, revenues per hour. And our goal, we have two goals for that. One is whatever format you upload on YouTube, the RPH should be kind of the same, whether it's shorts, whether it's VOD or something like that. Some areas we haven't closed the gap, but we are getting very, very close, even for shorts, to close that gap between VOD and shorts in terms of revenue per hour. Second goal is to be competitive with other forms of media, like television. Our RPH should be the same as on television. And also here, we are very much closing the gap. That depends very much on type of content and who sells it. For the ones with partner sellers who sell at, I'm explaining that in a second, who sell at a premium rate card, I would say we probably are there and even have not exceeded that. What is the partner sales program? So if you are a partner and you have already a large amount of inventory in YouTube, we're talking not about 100,000 or million, we're talking nearly about billion views. So you need to have a large amount of inventory and you need to have a sales team. We open YouTube, plus some other qualifiers, we open YouTube for you to co-sell with our sales team, which means you can sell your ads through our ad manager at your price point. What usually these partners do much better than we do are content sales. So these partner sellers build bundles of content, sports content, genre, etc., and sell it usually at a high CPM. We are extremely good in selling audiences at scale. We are not necessarily good in selling content. So this is why this is a very complementary business. Basically all based in Germany, all our big broadcasters like ProSieben, RTL, many of our agencies, MCNs, however you call them, are doing that and are driving really valuable additional revenues to YouTube.
I think that's your cue, but are you staying over a little? Do you have a bit of time? Okay. Well, Andreas, thank you so much for your time and good luck for tonight.